Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the middle of the week, Wednesday. Um, we're really winding down earnings season. The only big thing we got to talk about today is probably Nike, and we'll have to see what else might be out there here in just a little bit. I do want to remind you, though, our free report on basically retirement strategy. If you think back to 2008, there's a lot of folks that didn't get to retire when they wanted to because they didn't have a strategy in place, and they saw a big market loss in 2008. And I don't want that to happen to you. Go right now and get your financial strategies report from statlerfinancial.net/LM-3 to get your free report. Hey, Dave will be with us in just a moment.
Oh, well, that's Bruno Mars from 105.7 Light FM. Morning, all. It's 8:39 now, 21 before 9. Let's check in and find out what's happening on the money front of the world. Downtown Sebring, we head to the offices of Statler Financial Services, where Phillip Statler is standing by. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well on hump day. It's yesterday, though, the markets did not fare quite so well. All this talk about impeachment has got the traders on edge a little bit with the downward push on the market yesterday.
It kind of ends up, I mean, it wasn't a major sell-off, but it wasn't good news by any measure, and I suppose a little repricing is in order, because if there's one thing, you and I were gabbing about it before we went on the air, absolutely nothing is going to happen now legislatively, and especially not that requires cooperation between Republicans, Democrats, and the White House now, until this issue is settled and it gets through the Senate trial and all of the other stuff. Because ain't nobody speaking to each other on anything other than the impeachment matter, which puts a whole bunch of trade deals that we've got in limbo, and that messes with money. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of a downward drift based on that. There's pressure in that direction, right?
Well, there is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think isn't there a debt ceiling vote that has to get done here shortly? I mean, there's still business that has to be taken care of, and I see Congress really kind of shrugging their real responsibility.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're right. They didn't pass that. It went through the House just fine, but it's still mired in the Senate because they're arguing over some wall allocations. So, yeah, that's right. We didn't finish that. Everybody talked about it as if it was a done deal when it went through the House, kicking the ball down the road until we get past Election Day next year. But, yeah, we don't have that done yet either. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
One of your family mentioned a really good idea. Maybe this is a time where we should have shift work in Congress. Worry about impeachment in the evenings and do some actual work before then.
Yeah, that would be a novel idea, wouldn't it, to get Congress to actually do some work during the day? But it would be good if they focused on that. And if they want to do impeachment stuff, do it after the regular work day, which they probably don't know what a work day is anyway.
Yeah, that's a valid point to that. No matter which side of the fence you're on, pro or anti-impeachment, one thing's for sure, Washington is going to grind to an absolute legislative halt now for a period of months, and that doesn't make anybody happy, Democrat, Republican, or in between.
No, it really doesn't. Hey, we talked about returns yesterday, everything kind of being in the red and not just tingy red either. They were pretty definitely in the red. But the big loser yesterday was NASDAQ. As a matter of fact, with their loss yesterday of about 1.5%, it put their last 12-month return at absolutely zero.
Oh, poop. Yeah, NASDAQ was the one index that really tanked. That full 1.5% down 118 points. We're kind of in that label where 142 down on the Dow is not a good day, but it's not a disaster by any measure. But percentage-wise, NASDAQ was a mess. Zero for the year, huh?
Zero for the last 12 months, and then you get the other two indexes, and the Dow Jones is less than 1%, and the S&P is less than 2%.
Wow. Merry sunshine. Kind of like we just killed the whole year to date, right?
Exactly. It's not year to date now. It's the last 12 months. So it's an annualized return number. So, but still, that's just not showing much in the way of growth.
Absolutely, and it does kind of underscore advice that you've been giving all along. Nobody can really tell what's going to happen in the process. We're at zero right now over the last 12 months, which means the average investor hasn't made diddly poop. some outside eyes taking a look at where the risk level in a portfolio is makes good sense, doesn't it?
It really does, especially the closer you get to retirement. If you're not going to retire for a while, well, then that doesn't really matter, right? You want to buy low, and so hopefully you're doing that. But if you're getting close to retirement, then the risk in your portfolio, Dave, really becomes vitally important, and you don't want to have too much risk because an '08 could happen, and we don't know when.
Absolutely. I've always said I'm one of the poster children for that. I'm now on the verge of retirement. 10 odd years ago, when we had the '08, '09 crash, I was able to let my IRA sit, ride it out, and I'm just fine on that IRA level now, what little it is. But now I'm getting closer. Now all of a sudden I'm getting touchy, and it's time to make some adjustments to make sure things don't go down if the market does decide to tank.
That's right, because if an '08 happened right now, it would be devastating to you if you think you're going to retire in the next couple of years.
Absolutely, it makes a difference. I'm not going to quit this job, but it would be kind of nice to cut back. I couldn't live if I didn't have you to fight with every morning. Other things going on in the marketplace, really, impeachment is going to end up being the influence. We're waiting for a GDP number to, I think, as tomorrow. That might be an impact on the markets. Gossip about the companies that are out. Big merger they were talking about. Phillip Morris and Altria were talking about merging and kind of remarrying again because they were once together. They called that off, and evidently the Phillip Morris stockholders kind of like that because I noticed their stock is up by close by 8% this morning.
Actually, both companies like that. Yeah, you're right. The Philip Morris is up a little over 7% right now, and Altera Group is up a little over 2% this morning. So both those companies seem to be their stock leases benefiting from that announcement. And then on top of that, then you've got the Juul CEO resigning and stepping down, and of course Juul is under investigation, and in terms of their vaping and that kind of stuff. So that's going to be interesting to see how that falls out.
That whole sub-industry is starting to really get whacked as a bunch of governments say that in the abundance of caution, they're just going to say, I'm sorry, we can't sell what you're selling for the time being. I don't think we've done that before the data is all in a long time to any industry, have we?
Probably not, but I think that the poor FDA is seeing so much stuff happening in that industry that they're very concerned.
Understood. One big stock report that came out, I think it was after the close last night, Glamour stock, Nike reported, and looking at what their pre-market trading is doing, must have been good news, huh?
It was good news. They came in about 16 cents ahead of estimates. Obviously, the revenue topped Wall Street forecast also. They had a great quarter, a significant jump in their online sales, and then they had some other great factors factored in there. They're up this morning almost 4.75%. So actually, they'll open at a new 52-week high this morning, Dave, compared to where they've been. Their last one was at $90. So good things happening there with Nike.
I guess that Colin Kaepernick deal wasn't a bad deal after all for Nike, was it?
Well, our people have kind of forgot about it anyway. Hey, I got one more for you. Cintas, yes. Cintas, the uniform company, they came in and beat by about 17 cents a share. Revenue beat analysts also. They're doing good. They raised their full year forecast, and they're trading up a little over 3% this morning.
Not bad. Good to have some good news to start us out with in the absence of any really good economic reports to give us. Setting the table for yesterday, we ended up with a down day, as Phillip mentioned at the beginning. Dow was down by 142, which is 0.5%. Decidedly not a good day, but not a disaster by any measure. Standard & Poor's was off by about 0.8%, down 25. But whoa! NASDAQ down by 118 plus points, almost a full 1.5%, and that's undisputedly bad news. 45 minutes before the real money gets thrown around this morning, Phillip, which way are we heading today?
Dave, right now it's all pretty much red, some of it a little less red than others, but right now we got the Dow basically even, down $12, the S&P down $1.50, and the NASDAQ's down 10. We got gold and silver both retreating about 0.4% each. and crude oil is making a drastic dive down 1.75% to $56.29 a barrel.
Must have called in the repair guys in Saudi Arabia on an urgent basis, huh?
Well, they said that crude oil inventory comes out later today, and they think that inventory's up.
Ah, that would make the price go down by a bit. Overseas markets completely unimpressed with our news events from yesterday because they're even more trade sensitive than we are. Asia was off considerably, Hong Kong by a full 1.33% at the close. European markets all in red ink halfway through their day today as well, Phillip. So, we need to have some stability in one's retirement fund, especially looking at weird events going on that affect the market, even when they aren't financial. How do I get a hold of you to get some advice to fix that problem?
Devin, give us a call at 382-0037. But I want to take another issue there, and that's creating income in retirement. And one way that everybody counts on is Social Security. And you have a lot of choices that need to be made. So we've put together a special report on Social Security choices. All you have to do is text the word security to 863-285-3815 to get your free report on Social Security choices. And then join us every weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on News Talk 730 a.m.
The piece on Social Security will be handy. I've always told the story that even if you think you know what you're doing on Social Security, knowing for sure is a heck of a lot smarter, right?
Absolutely. I mean, just having a plan in place is just the right thing to do.
Absolutely. Phillip, thank you so much. We'll catch you tomorrow morning here about the same time on Light. Fair enough?
Fair enough, man. Thanks. You have a great day.
You too, sir. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, don't forget about the report on retirement strategies. You don't want to get caught blindsided by another 2008. And this report will give you strategies to make sure that you're not caught off guard. All you have to do is go to statlerfinancial.net/LM-3 to get your free report. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you got a little tidbit out of it. If you like what we're doing, please like our page at Statler Financial Services and share this post. Until tomorrow, have a great day.